seems that people are less, let's say, confident or have more doubts about other people's competence or intentions or integrity or accountability in this new environment that we're not used to. So as you can see, again, here we have some facts for you. For a big part of line managers, there is an issue with having confidence in the skills of their people or in the ability of their people to keep their motivation high in the long run. And this is something that the employees sense. So they sense to quite a large extent that their managers don't have enough confidence in their skills, or they worry to a large extent that they are being monitored somehow, or their communications are being monitored. And this, of course, adds stress. The stress level increases, partly because of these new developments. At the same time, leaders have doubts about themselves more, probably, in this new context. So how good do they feel? How capable do they feel about how they lead their remote teams, and especially about how they create trust in these teams among people who are not, most of the time, together in the same place at the same time.
So this was a series of experiments that were replicated worldwide over the last 20 plus years that really have identified this evolutionary pro-social peptide at a brain level that facilitates feeling safe with your outgroup, feeling safe with people that are fundamentally different from you in any way, shape, or form, be it gender, be it skin color, be it language, be it age, be it socioeconomic status, etc. So we really have identified trust as a neurochemical. It is something that as it increases in our bloodstream, it gives us a sense of safety and a sense of reciprocation, that we want to pay forward. We want to do something kind and nice to others that we play with, that we live with, and we work with. And this is the fundamental neuroscience, without going into too much detail at a brain level, of what we now believe is the grease, if you will, of being safe with people that are similar and different from us, and also how we play with others, how we cooperate, how we collaborate. Well, great. Let me share, as I think all of us, we talked today about bias and unconscious bias. Our model is one that's very biased. As Alexandra shared, the foundation for any team model is interpersonal trust and psychological safety. So I would really argue, as a psychologist, as a researcher, that the necessary but not sufficient condition for high team effectiveness and high team performance is, in fact, that we have some existing level of safety and trust. So that's where our model really begins. We try to explain the outcomes, as we've seen in the research that I've shared, that all of us very much are tuned in today, whether, again, it's employee engagement or turnover, or, again, our ability to be creative in teams to solve problems and be agile and adaptive. And we go back to what are the drivers of, at a neurobiological level, what are the things that when we have human interactions, when we have rules and policies and procedures that will allow us to do our best work and be our best self. So we approach this from two different consultative strategies. Again, nothing new to anybody that's listening today, but certainly we can go into organizations and assess and take a look at their policies, their procedures, their practices that popularly we say create culture and shape culture. And most of our work and our focus really looks at individual practices of leaders. And Gallup and other organizations have really identified that leadership practices account for the greatest variance in employee performance and employee engagement. And we really believe that leaders, when they wake up in the morning, the magic that they do can help shape or can actually hinder the interpersonal trust and psychological safety that occurs in teams. Yeah, there's some new research on, you might say, is trust unlimited in hybrid teams? In other words, can too much trust be detrimental to performance and success? And interestingly, when I trust you without any boundaries, I'm not checking on the work that you're doing. I'm not following up. And in fact, I just believe that you're competent and you're consistent and you have the team's goals in mind. So, an implication of this research is one of the downsides of high levels of trust is we need to engineer getting together more frequently. And again, I think we're all Zoom fatigued or whatever you're using for media to get together, but arranging specific dates to talk about how we're working together, not to focus on the task or what we're actually hired to do, but to do a little bit of process consulting, maybe bring in a consultant, maybe use your human resources, but to ask that question, what could we be doing as a team to foster, make sure that we're working collaboratively is really important. And when we're at far ends of the world, again, we just trust that you're going to get your piece of your work done. I'm going to get mine done. And depending again on the mission and vision, the type of team that we are, that's much more critical. So the difference, I'll use a sports analogy. When we use the word team, we can talk about clubs versus teams. So if you're a football team, everybody has an individual role, but collectively, if we play well, we can score a number of goals and beat the opposing team. But if I'm a gymnastics club, we may call ourselves a team. It's our individual performance that really counts. And what you do, whether it's on the high bars or another type of rope, may not matter about my performance. So again, we have to be very specific on the type of team we are, what's our mission and purpose. And with hybrid teams, again, engineering the sense of understanding our styles, fostering what you do well, and building again from a cultural intelligence, how we're similar and how we're different can do a lot to build and bridge high trust and high psychological safety.